Strength isn't something you wear like armor, nor is it something that can be measured by the weight you lift or the battles you win. True strength lies in the way you navigate life's challenges, how you rise after every fall, and the resilience that keeps you moving forward even when no one is watching. It's easy to think that strength is reserved for warriors, leaders, or the ones who stand in the spotlight, but in reality, it is found in the quiet moments of persistence, in the silent battles fought within, and in the decisions made when the world isn't looking. You might not realize it, but even in your weakest moments, when you feel like you're just trying to survive, you are demonstrating incredible strength. It doesn't come from pretending to be unbreakable. It comes from your ability to face life with courage, to embrace challenges instead of running from them, and to understand that every setback is an opportunity to grow. One of the most powerful indicators of true strength is emotional control. Picture this: you've spent weeks working on a project, pouring in your energy, ensuring every detail is perfect. Then, out of nowhere, something goes wrong. Perhaps a colleague criticizes your work unfairly, or circumstances beyond your control undo everything you've built. What do? Most people let emotions take over: anger, frustration, or even despair. It's human nature, isn't it? To react in the heat of the moment, to let emotions dictate actions. But that moment of unchecked emotion can lead to regret. Let me share a story about someone I deeply admire. He was not just a mentor, but a master of emotional control. I watched him handle high-pressure situations with an almost unshakable calm. While others panicked, blamed each other, or crumbled under stress, he remained composed. He didn't ignore the problem. He simply refused to let his emotions cloud his judgment. He asked the right questions, sought practical solutions, and guided his team with clarity and focus. His strength wasn't about suppressing emotions, it was about mastering them. Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher emperor, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that's exactly what emotional control is about. Focusing on what you can change while letting go of what you cannot. It's the ability to turn chaos into clarity, to remain steady in the storm instead of being swept away by it. Think about it. How often have you said something in anger that you later wished you could take back? How many choices made in frustration ended up causing more harm than good? Emotions are powerful, and when left unchecked, they can lead us astray. That's why the Stoics believed in mastering emotions rather than being ruled by them. Seneca once wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To truly live freely, you must guide your emotions with reason, not let them dictate your actions. Developing emotional control doesn't happen overnight, but small, intentional steps can make all the difference. The next time you feel frustration rising, pause. Take a deep breath and give yourself space to think. That moment of pause is powerful. It allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. If it is, redirect your energy towards solving the problem rather than fueling the emotion. Reflection is another key. At the end of the day, take a moment to think about situations where emotions got the better of you. What triggered them? How could you handle them differently next time? This practice, though simple, builds awareness and resilience over time. Perspective is equally important. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? More often than not, what seems overwhelming in the moment is insignificant in hindsight. Shifting your perspective reduces the emotional weight of temporary setbacks. But let's be clear, emotional control isn't about being detached or emotionless. It's about understanding your feelings, choosing your responses, and maintaining stability in uncertain times. It's a commitment to responding with intention rather than impulse. With this mastery, you'll find that life's difficulties no longer seem as threatening. Instead, they become opportunities for growth. True strength isn't about the absence of emotion. It's about guiding it wisely, step by step. Another sign of strength is taking responsibility. Imagine this. You promised a colleague that you'd finish a part of a report by the weekend. The days pass quickly, distractions pile up, and before you know it, the deadline has slipped. What do? Many people would instinctively make excuses, blaming a heavy workload, unforeseen circumstances, or even others. But true strength lies in owning your mistakes. Taking responsibility means acknowledging your failure without hesitation, apologizing sincerely, and making things right. At first glance, this might seem like a small act, but it speaks volumes about your character. Responsibility isn't about never making mistakes, it's about how you respond to them. Seneca wisely noted, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Mistakes are inevitable. They mark the end of one attempt and the start of learning. What defines you is whether you use those moments to grow. Taking responsibility requires courage. It's not easy to admit when we're wrong, especially in a world that often celebrates perfection. But let's be honest, perfection is an illusion. We're all flawed and we all stumble. True strength comes from facing those flaws head-on and choosing to make amends rather than hiding behind excuses. I once worked with someone who exemplified this beautifully. She was leading a major project, and due to an oversight, a key milestone was delayed. She could have blamed her team or external circumstances, but instead she took full responsibility. She gathered the team, admitted her mistake, and presented a clear plan to resolve the issue. Her honesty didn't make her look weak. It earned her respect. It showed that she was a leader of integrity. When you take responsibility, you reclaim control over your life. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, but the author of your own story. Every mistake becomes a lesson, a stepping stone toward becoming wiser and stronger. The Stoics teach us that responsibility is a path to freedom. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you take responsibility, you free yourself from the burden of excuses and blame. You shift from being reactive to proactive, shaping your future with deliberate intention. So how can you practice taking responsibility in everyday life? Start small. If you forget to return a friend's call, don't make excuses. Apologize and make it right. When faced with criticism, resist the urge to immediately defend yourself. Instead, reflect on whether there is truth in the feedback, and if there is, act on it. Responsibility also means acknowledging your successes. It's not just about owning your failures. It's about celebrating when your actions make a positive difference. This balance keeps you grounded, helping you grow without being weighed down by self-doubt or inflated by pride. Life will constantly present moments where you must choose between blame and accountability. The easier path is often to shift the burden elsewhere. But the stronger path, the Stoic path, is to accept the truth, however uncomfortable, and use it as a catalyst for growth. Taking responsibility doesn't just make you a better professional, friend, or partner. It makes you a stronger version of yourself. It builds resilience, fosters trust, and helps you create a life of integrity and purpose. In a world where accountability is often avoided, those who embrace it stand out. They shine as examples of what true strength looks like, not in words, but in actions. Fear, it's something we all experience. It whispers doubts, paints worst-case scenarios, and convinces us to step back instead of moving forward. It tells us we're not ready, that failure is inevitable, that we should stay where it's safe. But those who are truly strong don't run from fear, they face it head-on. They see it not as an enemy, but as a teacher, a challenge to overcome, a necessary step toward growth. Imagine this. You've been given an opportunity to speak in front of a crowd. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and a voice in your mind starts listing everything that could go wrong. What if I forget my words? What if they judge me? What if I embarrass myself? But then, instead of giving in to fear, you take a deep breath, stand tall, and step onto that stage. In that moment, you've chosen growth over comfort. You've decided that the possibility of failure is worth the chance to learn, to improve, and to stretch beyond your current limits. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Fear is not about the challenge itself, it's about how we perceive it. The strong understand this. They don't wait for fear to disappear before they act. They act despite it. Now think about your own life. Maybe it's an exam you're nervous about, an interview that feels overwhelming, or a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Fear will always try to stop you by highlighting what could go wrong. But strength is built in those moments when you choose to act anyway. Because courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward in spite of it. Even in smaller everyday moments, fear has a way of creeping in. Maybe you hesitate to express your opinion in a meeting because you're afraid of being judged, but you gather your thoughts and speak up. Or maybe you've always wanted to try a new hobby, but you're worried you won't be good at it. Still, you decide to give it a shot. These moments may seem small, but they are victories. Every time you face fear, no matter how insignificant it seems, you're training yourself to be braver. The Stoics believed in preparing for challenges before they arrived. Seneca advised, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Anticipate difficulties, but don't let them paralyze you. Instead, see them as opportunities to practice resilience. There are practical ways to face fear. Start with deep breathing. When fear grips you, slow down your breath and calm your racing thoughts. Break big tasks into smaller steps to make them more manageable. And most importantly, remind yourself that discomfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. Facing fear doesn't mean you'll never feel afraid again. It means that each time fear arises, you'll recognize it, confront it, and refuse to let it dictate your choices. And with each challenge you overcome, you'll realize that fear is often an illusion, a barrier that fades when you step through it. Life will always bring uncertainties, but fear doesn't have to hold you back. See it for what it is, a signpost pointing toward growth. As Epictetus said, difficulties show a person what they are. Every challenge is an invitation to rise. The question is, will you take it? Another mark of true strength is embracing solitude. In a world that never stops, where distractions are constant and connections are always at our fingertips, solitude is often misunderstood. Many people fear it, associating it with loneliness. But solitude and loneliness are not the same. Loneliness is an absence. Solitude is a choice. A powerful, intentional choice to be alone with your thoughts, to reflect, to understand yourself without external noise clouding your mind. Picture a quiet evening with no messages to respond to, no notifications demanding your attention, just you and your own thoughts. At first it might feel strange, even uncomfortable, but slowly the silence becomes a mirror, reflecting truths about yourself that the noise of daily life often drowns out. This is the power of solitude. It strips away distractions and helps you see yourself clearly. Epictetus once said, "He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing." Solitude teaches you to be content with what you have, to find fulfillment within yourself rather than chasing it in external validation. It is in these quiet moments that self-reliance is built. You learn to trust yourself, to sit with your emotions rather than run from them, and to develop a sense of inner peace that no one can take away. Marcus Aurelius echoed this wisdom when he wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." When you embrace solitude, you create space to listen to your thoughts, to question your values, and to align your actions with your principles. It's a sacred pause in the rush of life, a chance to recalibrate. But solitude is not always easy. It requires courage to sit with your thoughts, to face your doubts and fears without distraction. And yet this process is transformative. In solitude, you build emotional strength, learning to navigate your inner world with clarity instead of being consumed by external noise. Solitude also helps you define your own path. When you step away from the expectations of others, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. You stop living for societal approval and start living in alignment with your own goals. This kind of authenticity is rare, but it is also the foundation of a deeply fulfilling life. In today's fast-paced world, solitude is often seen as a luxury, but the Stoics understood that it was essential. They knew that time alone wasn't about retreating from life, it was about preparing for it. By strengthening your inner world, you become more equipped to handle external challenges, to build meaningful relationships, and to contribute to the world in a way that aligns with your values. To embrace solitude is to embrace the strength within yourself. It is a reminder that you are enough, just as you are. In the stillness, you find peace. In that peace, you find clarity. And in that clarity, you find power, the kind of power that allows you to face life's storms with calm and confidence. Choose to embrace it, because in solitude, you don't just find yourself, you become stronger than you ever thought possible. Strength is not just about facing challenges or conquering fears. It's also about how you carry yourself in times of adversity. Some people crumble under pressure, while others seem to have an unshakable ability to find light even in the darkest moments. This ability to stay positive when everything around you is falling apart is one of the strongest traits a person can develop. I know someone who embodies this strength effortlessly. No matter what happens in her life, she greets it with a quiet smile and unwavering optimism. It's not that she denies her struggles or pretends that everything is perfect. Instead, she chooses to focus on what she can control, on what she can learn, and on the good that still remains, even in difficult moments. Her presence is magnetic. People are drawn to her warmth, and her outlook inspires others to shift their perspectives. Watching her, I often think, this is what real strength looks like. Staying positive in adversity is not about ignoring pain. It's not about pretending that problems don't exist. It's about deciding that no matter what happens, you will not allow circumstances to break you. It's about choosing resilience over defeat, hope over despair, and growth over stagnation. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, a reminder that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. Life is unpredictable. It will throw obstacles in your path when you least expect it, but within every challenge lies an opportunity to become stronger, to develop wisdom, and to cultivate a mindset that allows you to move forward with purpose. Positivity in adversity is about shifting your narrative. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, you become the author of your response. This doesn't erase the difficulty, but it transforms how you engage with it. One of the most powerful ways to maintain positivity is through gratitude. Even in the midst of struggle, there are blessings to count: the support of a loved one, the lessons gained from failure, or even the simple fact that you have made it through another day. Gratitude doesn't mean denying hardship. It means recognizing that even in the worst times, there is still something to be thankful for. Resilience is another key. It's the ability to adapt, to recover, and to push forward even when the road is difficult. Every setback you face is a lesson in resilience. Every time you refuse to give up, you grow stronger. Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The hardships we endure are what shape us, refine us, and reveal our inner strength. Staying positive also means focusing on the present. Too often, we dwell on past failures or fear what the future might bring. But the Stoics remind us to anchor ourselves in the now. Epictetus advised, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will have peace." When you embrace the present moment, you free yourself from the weight of the past and the worry of the future. Cultivating this mindset takes time. It requires reframing negative thoughts, seeking solutions instead of dwelling on problems, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift rather than drain you. It also means allowing yourself to feel sadness, frustration, and fear, but not letting those emotions control you. Positivity in adversity is a choice. It's a deliberate act of courage. It doesn't mean pretending that life is easy. It means recognizing that even when life is hard, there is still hope, still beauty, and still a reason to keep moving forward. So when challenges come, as they inevitably will, remember this: the storm will pass, but the strength and wisdom you gain will remain. Hold on to that truth and let it guide you through whatever lies ahead. Another sign of true strength is the ability to set boundaries. Many people struggle with this, believing that saying no is selfish, or that prioritizing themselves means letting others down. But the reality is, boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about protecting your energy, your time, and your peace. In a world that constantly demands more than we can give, boundaries are the shield that prevent us from burning out. Epictetus once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." To know yourself is to understand what you can give and what you need to keep for your well-being. Boundaries are a reflection of that self-awareness. Some may view setting boundaries as an act of selfishness, but in truth, it is an act of self-respect. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you give without limits, you will deplete yourself, leaving little for others and even less for yourself. Saying no is not rejection. It's choosing to invest your energy where it truly matters. I once knew someone who struggled with this deeply. She was constantly overwhelmed by the expectations of others, always saying yes, always trying to please everyone, always putting herself last. Over time, she grew exhausted, resentful, and emotionally drained. Then one day, she made a change. She started setting clear boundaries, prioritizing her own well-being, and communicating her limits with kindness. The transformation was incredible. Not only did she feel more balanced and energized, but the relationships that truly mattered in her life grew stronger. Boundaries don't just protect your energy, they also teach others how to respect you. When you set limits, you send a message that you value yourself, your time, and your mental health. In return, people learn to value your presence in their lives even more. Boundaries also provide clarity. When you know where your limits are, decision-making becomes easier. You no longer waste energy on things that drain you. Instead, you focus on what aligns with your values and goals. Marcus Aurelius advised, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Boundaries help you live with that kind of clarity and purpose. But practicing this kind of strength requires courage. There will be times when people push back, when they accuse you of being difficult or unkind. But remember this: you are not setting boundaries to hurt others. You are setting them to protect yourself. And those who truly care about you will respect your limits, even if they don't always understand them at first. So how do you begin? Start by identifying what drains your energy and what replenishes it. Take note of the commitments that bring you joy and those that leave you feeling exhausted. Then, make a plan to prioritize the former and minimize the latter. Communicate your boundaries clearly and with kindness, but stand firm when they are tested. In doing so, you don't just guard your time and energy. You create space for growth, joy, and meaningful connections. You choose what deserves your focus, and in doing so, you align your life with your deepest values. The act of setting boundaries is not about building walls. It's about creating a balanced, fulfilling life. It's a declaration that your well-being matters, that your energy is valuable, and that you deserve peace. This kind of strength is rare, but it is necessary. It is what allows you to thrive, no matter what demands the world places upon you. True strength is not just about personal resilience, it's about using that strength to uplift others. The strongest individuals don't compete to tear people down, they collaborate to lift them up. They understand that real power is not found in dominance or control, but in empowerment, in helping others reach their potential. Think about a time when someone believed in you, even when you doubted yourself. Maybe it was a teacher who saw your potential, a friend who reminded you of your worth, or a mentor who encouraged you to aim higher. Their belief in you became the spark that pushed you forward, the encouragement that kept you from giving up. This is the power of lifting others. When you choose to support someone, you create a ripple effect of strength and confidence. A small act of encouragement can transform someone's day, or even their life. And when you empower others, you don't just help them grow, you reinforce your own strength. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." The Stoics understood that we are all interconnected. When we help others thrive, we create a stronger, more resilient community. The strength of one person can inspire and uplift many. But lifting others up isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as listening without judgment, offering a few kind words, or acknowledging someone's efforts when no one else does. Small acts of kindness, given sincerely, can have an immeasurable impact. I remember a time when a colleague of mine was struggling with a critical project. They were overwhelmed, filled with self-doubt, and unsure how to proceed. Instead of focusing on their mistakes, I sat down with them, broke the tasks into smaller steps, and guided them through the challenges. Together, we worked through every detail, refining and improving along the way. The result was remarkable, not just because the project succeeded, but because it changed how my colleagues saw themselves. They gained confidence, realizing they were far more capable than they had believed, and our relationship grew stronger, built on mutual trust and support. That experience taught me something valuable. Lifting others doesn't just help them succeed, it fosters connection, collaboration, and shared victories that benefit everyone. Supporting others is not self-sacrifice, it's an act of strength and empathy. It requires setting aside ego and seeing the potential in others, even when they can't see it themselves. Epictetus once said, "Be helpful to those who are vulnerable, for you may one day find yourself in need of assistance." Strength is not about standing alone, it is about standing together. Sometimes lifting others means stepping back and letting them take the spotlight. Truly strong individuals don't need constant recognition. They find fulfillment in the success of those they've supported. This kind of generosity is rare, but it is transformative. It builds communities where success is shared, where competition is replaced with collaboration. To lift others, start with small intentional actions. Celebrate someone's achievements without envy. Offer encouragement when they face challenges. Share your knowledge freely, knowing that wisdom grows when it is shared. The Stoics believed that life is a shared journey. Seneca wisely said, "No man can live happily who has regard for himself alone and turns everything to his advantage. You must live for your neighbor if you would live for yourself." By lifting others, you create a legacy of strength that extends beyond your own life. Ultimately, helping others is an expression of inner strength. It is a commitment to something greater than yourself, a belief that when we empower those around us, we all rise together. And now, as we reflect on all these lessons, one truth becomes clear. Strength is not a single trait or a moment of resilience. It is a way of life, a philosophy that shapes how we respond to challenges, interact with others, and navigate the world. The power to grow stronger is always within reach. Each moment offers a choice: to react impulsively or respond wisely, to focus on what we can control, and to approach difficulties with grace and determination. These lessons are timeless and universal. They offer guidance in times of chaos, clarity in moments of doubt, and peace in the face of adversity. The Stoics understood this well. They knew that true strength is not about external victories, but about mastering oneself, controlling emotions, taking responsibility, facing fears, embracing solitude, staying positive, setting boundaries, and lifting others up. And the beauty of these principles is that they are not reserved for a select few. They are available to anyone willing to practice them. Small steps, taken consistently, build strength over time. So as you move forward, remember this: strength is not something you are born with. It is something you cultivate. It is in your actions, your choices, and your mindset. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger. Every setback is a lesson. Every act of resilience is a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. And when you help others rise, you reinforce your own strength. You build connections, foster trust, and create a world where success is not just personal, it is shared. So embrace these lessons. Practice them daily. Let them shape how you respond to life's challenges. And as you grow stronger, inspire those around you to do the same. Because true strength is not just about standing tall, it is about helping others rise beside you. Strength isn't always loud. It doesn't always come in the form of grand gestures or dramatic victories. Sometimes strength is quiet. It's in the small choices we make every day, the decisions that define our character, and the mindset that keeps us moving forward even when the path is uncertain. One of the greatest signs of strength is the ability to stay calm in the face of chaos. Life is unpredictable. Problems arise out of nowhere. People disappoint us. Plans fall apart. And in those moments, many people react impulsively, panicking, blaming, or letting frustration take over. But those who are truly strong understand that control doesn't come from reacting. It comes from responding with intention. Imagine someone who handles pressure with grace. No matter what happens, they remain composed, analyzing the situation before making a decision. They don't let emotions dictate their actions. Instead, they focus on what can be done, on what is within their control. This kind of composure is not about suppressing feelings, it's about mastering them. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers, put it simply: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is one of the most valuable lessons of life. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. The moment we accept this, we gain an incredible sense of freedom. No longer are we at the mercy of circumstances. We become the architects of our own lives. But staying calm under pressure is not something that happens naturally for most people. It's a skill, one that is built through practice. The next time you feel frustration or anger rising, take a step back. Breathe. Give yourself a moment to assess the situation before reacting. This small pause can be the difference between making a mistake and making a wise decision. Reflection is also a key part of this practice. At the end of each day, take a moment to think about how you handled challenges. Were there moments when emotions got the better of you? How could you approach similar situations differently next time? This kind of self-awareness builds resilience over time, and perhaps the most powerful tool in maintaining composure is perspective. Ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? More often than not, the things that seem overwhelming in the moment are insignificant in the long run. Keeping this perspective allows you to move through life with a sense of calm and focus. True strength is not found in reacting impulsively. It is found in responding wisely. It is in the ability to face uncertainty with a steady mind, to navigate chaos without being consumed by it. And when you cultivate this strength, you not only bring peace to yourself, you also become a source of stability for those around you. Another key trait of strong individuals is the ability to let go of what no longer serves them. Holding on to resentment, past mistakes, or toxic relationships drains energy and keeps us stuck. Strength is not just about endurance, it is also about knowing when to release what is weighing us down. Think about the things in your life that are holding you back. Maybe it's a past failure that you keep replaying in your mind. Maybe it's a relationship that is no longer healthy. Maybe it's the fear of what others think, preventing you from moving forward. Whatever it is, ask yourself, is this helping me grow, or is it keeping me stuck? The Stoics believed in the power of acceptance. They understood that clinging to the past or resisting change only leads to suffering. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will have peace." Letting go is not about giving up. It's about choosing growth over stagnation. It's about understanding that some things are beyond our control, and rather than resisting them, we can learn to flow with them. But letting go is not always easy. Sometimes we hold on to things out of habit, out of fear, or out of a belief that we need them. But the truth is, the more we release what is unnecessary, the more space we create for what truly matters. A simple exercise can help with this practice. Take a piece of paper and write down the things you are holding on to that no longer serve you. Then ask yourself, what would my life look like if I let this go? Often, just visualizing this release brings a sense of relief and clarity. Letting go is one of the greatest acts of strength. It requires trust in yourself, in your path, and in the fact that you do not need to carry everything with you. When you release what no longer serves you, you make room for new opportunities, for personal growth, and for a life that is aligned with your values. The strongest people are not those who cling to the past, but those who have the courage to step forward, unburdened, ready to embrace whatever comes next. Strength is not just about endurance, it is about movement. It is about choosing not to be weighed down by what has already happened, but to keep pushing forward toward what is possible. At the core of true strength is the ability to lift others up. The strongest people are not the ones who hoard their strength, but the ones who use it to empower those around them. True strength lies in community, in collaboration, and in the quiet acts of kindness that inspire others to rise alongside you. Consider the power of lifting someone else. Think back to a time when someone believed in you, even when you doubted yourself. Maybe it was a mentor who saw potential in you before you could see it in yourself, or a friend who picked you up when you were at your lowest. Their belief in you ignited a spark, a sense of confidence, and gave you the strength to keep going. This is the essence of lifting others. When you help someone else, you create a ripple effect that spreads far beyond that individual moment. You empower others to believe in themselves, to reach higher, and to take action. You remind them of their own potential. And in doing so, you reinforce your own strength. It might not always be about grand gestures. Lifting others can be as simple as a kind word of encouragement, a listening ear, or the gift of time. Sometimes, the smallest acts have the greatest impact. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." We are all connected, and when you help others thrive, you strengthen the entire community. When you support someone else's success, you make your own life richer, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. I once had a colleague who was struggling with a difficult project. They were overwhelmed, doubting their abilities, and unsure how to move forward. Instead of focusing on their weaknesses, I chose to focus on their strengths. We worked together, breaking down the project into manageable steps. I offered guidance and feedback, helping them refine their work and boost their confidence. In the end, not only did the project succeed, but my colleague emerged stronger, more capable, and more confident than they had been before. It was a win for both of us, and that success wasn't just about the project. It was about the trust we built, the collaboration, and the sense of mutual respect. This is the power of lifting others. When you help someone rise, you rise with them. You become a part of their journey, and they become a part of yours. It's a shared victory, one that creates lasting bonds and a sense of community. Lifting others doesn't diminish your own light. In fact, it makes it shine brighter. The Stoics understood that we are all part of a greater whole. They knew that true strength lies not in isolation, but in connection. It lies in the ability to see the potential in others, to offer support, and to help them achieve their own greatness. As Epictetus said, "Be helpful to those who are vulnerable, for you may one day find yourself in need of assistance." Lifting others is not just about being generous. It's about practicing humility, empathy, and gratitude. It's about recognizing that we are all in this together, that our success is intertwined with the success of those around us. To lift others is to build something greater than yourself. It is to create a community of support, where everyone's strength is shared, where success is not a solitary achievement, but a collective one. It is to recognize that the true measure of strength is not in what we accomplish alone, but in how we help others reach their full potential. When you empower someone else, you affirm your belief in the collective power of humanity. You prove that true strength is not about competition. It is about collaboration. It is about working together, supporting one another, and rising as one. The greatest legacy you can leave behind is one of empowerment. A legacy where you've used your strength to help others grow, to inspire others to reach higher, and to create opportunities for those around you. This is the essence of strength, the kind of strength that transforms lives, builds communities, and leaves a lasting impact. As you continue your journey, remember that true strength isn't just about conquering challenges or facing fears. It's about developing the inner resilience to respond to life with intention. It's about cultivating emotional control, taking responsibility, embracing solitude, staying positive in adversity, setting boundaries, and lifting others up. These are the pillars of strength, and with each day that you practice these principles, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling whatever life throws your way. So, embrace your strength, cultivate it, share it, and remember that the most powerful thing you can do with your strength is to lift others up along the way. Because in lifting others, you lift yourself.